so wait. Charlie, oh, you're so wait. Charlie, oh, you're so wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episodic podcasting adventure. It's Talkamania. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Talkamania. I'm your host, Desmino, here with my comrade, J-Bomb. Say howdy, J-Bomb.
Hola, I'm your comrade, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Again, we're getting off to these weird starts. Des, what the hell was that, man?
It was music to my ears.
Yeah.
Hope you guys like that surprise. We're always kind of keeping things fresh, cooking up some new music for you. We thought it was time for a little change, so that was our new intro. And you'll be hearing it every week here on Talkamania. So, before we get into it, folks, make sure to be following us on the Twitter @_Talkamania. Make sure to check us out wherever you get your podtastic kicks, be it iTunes, be it Podbean. We also have some t-shirts, some merch for sale on Pro Wrestling Tees/Talkamania. Check it out. Summer's almost over, so make sure to get your hands on the Summer Talkamania tee.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
We wish. Des, you're back at work, man. I remember what it was like, so I feel for you. First week back?
Oh, man. First day back. 1,672 emails to go through.
No fucking way.
No, and that's not even that bad, considering, because it's just, I work in the gaming industry, and you're part of so many different departments, and you're developing a video game. There's so many wheels that are turning, and so many people that want to pull you left and right. So lots of emails to go through, lots of meetings, lots of projects to catch up on. So it's been a crazy week. I mean, so far. So, and not just that, I got back at the end of the month, right? So I had to do all my invoicing this week as well. So it was a pain in the butt, but it feels good to be back in the office, being busy and, doing things. It kind of, not that I wasn't doing anything at home, but I kind of felt good, a little bit good to be back at work. I am downtown in the heart of this Montreal too, so it's really nice to be there as well too. But I don't know. It could have been a lot worse. I've also kind of went back with this I don't give an F attitude, we're like, oh, work's frustrating and this and that. But I don't know, I think I found a peace of mind during my vacation, and I kind of went back with a new attitude, and I feel a little bit more positive in that my life isn't in that office, it's what happens outside that office. So.
Yeah, give it a few more days. You'll be sucked back into
Why do you always have
shits.
to bring me back to reality and ruin things for me? Just let me have my moment.
Yeah, well, did Raw and SmackDown help you get through the week?
They do every week, and this week was no exception. They weren't too bad. I didn't mind both shows. They're quite well. I know some people were bitching about Raw, some people were bitching about SmackDown. They have their preferences. At the same time, I'm trying to look at them not as negatively as I was before. Not trying to pick it apart too much. Although that's just my nature. But for what it is, it was an okay week.
Before we get things going, we got to take a second here, guys. We got to pay our respects to Nikolai Volkov and Brian Christopher. I'm sure all of you have heard the passing of two former WWE superstars, so our thoughts are with their families.
Very sad news. It's funny because when I remember watching back WWE, I remember when we were kids and we go to the video store and we'd rent those Coliseum videos. We'd watch them, and that's the first wrestlers that I would see. We'd have the Sheik, we would have Sergeant Slaughter, Hulk Hogan. Nikolai Volkov was in there as well too a lot. So when I think about kind of when I first started getting into wrestling, he's definitely a prominent figure in my mind. And, then, as I got a bit older, as a teenager going to high school and discovered my body, kind of,
Whoa, where are you going with this, bro?
Fell off track a little bit of the wrestling scene, but when I got back into it, again, we were heading into 97. Brian Christopher was coming in on the scene in that the cruiserweight or the light heavyweight tournament where he ended up fighting Taka Michinoku in the finals, and he lost. But at the same time, it was cool to see Brian Lawler or Brian Christopher kind of make a name for himself. And, he had a good run. And with Too Cool as well.
Too Cool was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Whenever I think back to the Attitude Era, Too Cool is like that perfect mid-card tag team that held the glue together. You know what I mean?
And I remember also in those old video games too, like No Mercy or whatever. Like that was like the first animation. Where you're like, oh man, they're doing the dance. They got it down.
Yeah, the taunts were sick.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And you saw all over social media too. They were kind of busting those out. So.
You know, it's crazy that we've never mentioned Taka Michinoku until now on the podcast because so many people mistakenly read Talkamania as Talkamania.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
kidding.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? That's the first I've heard of it.
Talkamania, like Taka Michinoku. I'm like, really?
Well, first of all, I love
Really?
the Michinoku driver. And second of all, they still call it the Michinoku driver. So they're giving the guy some credit. He's done something right.
Fucking right, man. So let's get into it, bro. Raw this week kicked off with Roman Reigns. You know, no shit. Happens all the time. But what the hell, man? What's with the WWE, like, taking every opportunity they can to either drop the UFC name or, like, fighters' names from the UFC?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit kind of caught me off guard. So we had Roman Reigns coming out. I know it always starts off with Roman Reigns, but at least at that, we get it over with. But he comes out, he gives his usual stare, his monotonous music. And again, I will say it week after week, I think, changing his music, it would do so much for him alone. But he comes out, he cuts this cool / real promo where he talks about Brock Lesnar. He did it when they first started feuding and it was badass, but he just does it all the time now, so I don't really buy into it. And then he drops the name Daniel Cormier, and I'm like, that's kind of strange that they're dropping his name. So are they doing kind of like a cross promotion here? Are they able to talk about it? Because I know WWE was like, let's not talk about UFC, let's not talk about this, let's not talk about that. And now it seems like they're kind of, I guess, loosening up on that. But just to call Cormier in particular, I thought that was a bit strange. But then
Cormier is a huge WWE fan, by the way.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like what's the angle here? And also
you got to think if he loses against Brock in the UFC, he's getting older. He's a family man. I could see him making a lot of money in the WWE.
I'm tired of people coming in making their buck, and then everybody else kind of gets cast aside for the year or two. And we're seeing it with Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey's killing it. She's doing really well. But I just don't want to see somebody else come in here and be like, okay, well, now we're going to put the title on this guy who's not going to be able to do a full-time schedule. And
I don't know if they do that with him, though, because he's not as big of a name as Ronda is.
I'm just tired of the Universal title being held captive. I mean, think about it, right? We had Finn Balor who had it. Then it got passed on to, it's only 2 or 3 people who's had this title, and it's been around for quite a few years. So it's been held hostage by Brock Lesnar for quite some time. And I'm also thinking it's going to be funny at the possibility that KO could be the one to get the title next. So then you would only have, 2, 3 different Universal champions. So I thought
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I don't hate that.
Goldberg's in there too, I guess. But
we got Goldberg, Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar. That's it.
And Kevin Owens.
And Kevin Owens.
And Kevin Owens, yeah.
4. And if Kevin Owens wins it again and Braun doesn't and Roman doesn't.
It's kind of cool, though. It's also kind of cool that it's been around for a while and hasn't had many people to hold it. Because you're like, I'm going to be the next universe. I'm going to be the next. It's like, wow, there hasn't been many of them. So, but yeah, the promo for me, Heyman comes out. He's doing his coward thing. And Brock, now the fact that, they're really trying to push the fact that Brock doesn't care. Before, it seemed organic and natural because I don't think Brock really did care. But now they're like, okay, we'll sit in the back and read your magazine and be really mean to Paul Heyman, which he never really was before. He always kind of respected Heyman. So that was the thing. And he threw the phone that, it looked like a piece of crap phone. I don't think Heyman would even own that kind of phone. But I don't know. I think a lot of people like the backstage segments. They weren't bad particularly, but I thought it was building up to something a lot larger. The fact that Brock did not want to go out there was like, whoa, why doesn't he want to go out there? Oh, you know what? He's finally going to go out there, and then something's going to happen. Maybe Braun Strowman's going to cash in, because Braun was talking about, hey, watch out, Brock Lesnar. I'm coming after you. And it made it seem like the first chance he got, he was going to go after Brock Lesnar. So I thought it was going to tie together one way or the other. So, I mean, to that fact, we saw the main event, right? Brock Lesnar came out. He gave the F5 to Angle. That was the peak of it all. But, ultimately, it didn't do much for me. He kind of, roughed up Heyman and then left, and that was it. No Roman Reigns running through the crowd, which I would have even taken, and no Braun Strowman. We saw it with Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman in a segment on Raw where Kevin Owens actually took the briefcase, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be great.
Yeah, because he's tweeting about that.
Yeah, because KO, this is the way he is. He's going to come out. He's going to thwart Braun Strowman's chance here, and it kind of makes it believe to the fact that, oh, well, Braun Strowman didn't cash in after all because he couldn't. They could have made it his plan to cash in that night, make it be known, and then, KO takes the briefcase and, jumps in the car and takes off. They could have done more with it. They could have built the feud with KO a little bit more, and I just felt like something was missing out of the main event or the way to cap off Raw, and they really could have used this to tie it together and at the same time help build the feud for Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman going into SummerSlam. The fact that he just dropped it and ran away, it was, I don't know, it was really lame.
KO should have his own briefcase. Like back in the day, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. Have the two of them hang in there. Is it going to be a ladder match?
I think you've mentioned this scenario multiple times before with multiple things. I think so.
They should always do two. But, I've always liked the doubles. I like the double Undertaker. I even like the double Asuka. But have they announced that KO and Strowman are going to be in a ladder match with the briefcase? Or is it just a straight-up match?
Oh, no, it's not a ladder match. And here's the kicker that I was
reading.
Here's the kicker that I was reading now, too, that really stands out like a sore thumb to me. So, this is a singles match for Braun's Money in the Bank contract. And if Strowman loses by any means, Owens gets the contract.
So Owens wins. Owens is going to win. He's going to get the contract.
I'm fairly certain that's going to be the case. In fact, they're saying by any means, that can be a DQ, that can be a count out, that can be whatever it is. The odds are in Owens' favors. Maybe they're trying to make us think that it is. They're going to swerve us. I think they've done that a little bit in the past. We're like, oh, it's going to be him clearly, and it isn't. I think, after the Greatest Royal Rumble, after the Money in the Bank match, they really shouldn't be taking it off of Strowman like this. But if they're going to do it with anybody, it's going to be, Owens makes sense, and, it could work.
He's going to kill him then. They're going to have to top that sell. They topped the ladder at Money in the Bank with the sell.
How's he going to top the sell?
I didn't think they were going to be able to top the ladder.
Thumbtacks, maybe?
I don't know. Is thumbtacks cooler than falling off of a cage, though?
I think KO, at some point in his career, I feel like he's going to get the thumbtacks.
I think KO versus Dean Ambrose would be cool in, a tack match.
Or you're not going to have a tack match. I think it's just going to be
a tack match.
A one
tacks in a match is what I mean.
Well, maybe they'll do the Ambrose Asylum match again.
That was actually pretty fucking dope, man. I miss Jericho.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jericho.
You say Ambrose and Asylum, I just think Jericho taking those bumps, man.
Yeah, he took it like a pro, and miss Jericho. My girlfriend was asking me too, when's Jericho coming back? And I'm like, that's how my girlfriend sounds, by the way, guys. Naggy and whiny. Oh my god, no, that's not how she sounds. But I don't know, and it's cool to see the things he's doing. He's planning on doing shows now with the Young Bucks. He's calling them the Bucks of Jericho.
Well, they are. They're Team Alpha.
Yeah,
it's Team Alpha versus Bullet Club.
Yeah.
We should have gone on the cruise. In retrospect, we should have gone on that cruise.
Well,
but
we still can.
We're going to fucking WrestleMania, bro.
We are, folks.
Shit, how did we not even talk about that?
Well, there's so much to talk about in a given week, right? So
there is. We'll talk about that when it's more official. Let's talk about the women's division, though. Ronda Rousey's going to have her debut next week. Her Raw debut next week. It's pretty huge.
I saw that coming after that segment this week. So really cool to see Alicia Fox back. She was kind of being quiet at first, but then kind of came out a little bit crazy backstage. Really fun to see a crazy Alicia Fox. And by your reception on social media, it seems that everybody loves Crazy Fox. So I feel like they really never let her out of the kind of to reach that potential she could have. It seems like they always make her crazy then pull her back a bit. But it was cool to see her in the ring. She picked up a notable win as well this week. And then attacking Ronda this week. I kind of knew it was going to... I thought it might be a tag team match, but the singles match, okay, makes sense. No doubt she's going to win this match next week, obviously. She's going to look strong going into her match at SummerSlam. And it was interesting to pick this opponent, Alicia Fox, because not too long ago, Alicia Fox had a confrontation. I think it was at an airport with Ronda Rousey's husband, and they got in a fight. And Alicia got a little bit of heat for that, so it's kind of interesting.
Maybe they're gonna let Ronda fuck her up.
Well, she kind of already did with her move. She did that Samoan spin drop thing that she does, the kind of like that judo throw.
It's like a judo angle slam.
Yeah, and it was a bit nasty, but it's so funny because Alicia no-sold it because she got out of the ring like right away and chased down Ronda Rousey. I noticed, but yeah, we're gonna see Ronda Rousey's first match on Raw next week, guys. So it's gonna be after her.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. Ruby Riot's on the shelf. Sticking with the women's division. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. They're getting like the spotlight, man. They fought Bayley and Sasha this week. Liv's growing on you, I can tell. You're tweeting about her. You're talking positively about her. And honestly, out of everybody on the roster, out of all of the women, even less of a chance that you would like her over Mandy Rose. I see that you're starting to come around on this one.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Mandy Rose. I'm trying to put the two together and say, well, who do I like more at this point? I don't know. I would say in terms of the work they're putting in and the way they sell during matches, Liv Morgan.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I think the injury to Ruby Riott is probably the best thing that's happened to the rest of the Riot Squad. That is Logan, and that is also Liv Morgan. They've been feuding with Ember Moon.
Yeah, crocodile fucker.
Sure. They've been feuding with Ember Moon, who wasn't on Raw.
That's for the boys over at Take the Bump, man.
Yeah, she wasn't. Ember Moon was not on Raw this week after their matchup last week, but they were still there taking on Sasha and Bayley, and they did eat a loss this week. But again, Liv Morgan every week. I'm not down with her gimmick, but that's just me. It could appeal to some people.
It's not even a gimmick. It's stupid.
Well, I think maybe they're trying to appeal to like a younger audience, like 14-year-old girls, 15 high school girls, right? Because she's kind of bratty and she's got the blue tongue, but like I don't like that part of it. I think if she like someone I think had tweeted at me if she played like a crazy ex-girlfriend, gimmick that could work, and I could see it if she was a bit nuts and crazy.
She should follow Elias.
And excessively, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
All the women. Any woman any woman on the roster who doesn't have a great gimmick should just start following Elias.
Maybe. But anyways, she's you saw her sell the Eclipse like a champ. Even this week as well, she was flopping around, but not too much. Like she was doing all the right things. She's more tight in the ring. She's doing all right. She's progressing. And I will always give credit where credit's due if they're putting in the work, and it shows with her. I know a lot of people would be like knocking on me because I don't see the same in Logan. A lot of you guys out there love Logan. I don't really talk about this whole Viking character. Hyped her up really big, got the win over Ember Moon, and then she took a back seat this week. So, I mean, I don't know. Every time she picks up the mic or gets in the ring, it's a bit awkward. Not that she won't get there. I'm sure she'll do just fine, folks. Don't jump on me and rip my throat apart. I'm just saying, in terms of the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott obviously is, the one with the spotlight on her. She's definitely been established. I think Liv Morgan is coming into her own as well, too, now. And, it's funny because she's kind of, you look at people who sell as part of the male roster. Ziggler stands out as one of the big people, right? And I kind of see her in the same limelight for female. There's not a lot of female who sell really well, and I like to see that out of her. She makes her opponents look good, and she doesn't need to win. And in time, she'll pick up some wins, and she'll gain credibility as well, too. But again, like in terms of her in-ring ability and her selling, I'll put her ahead of Carmella even, so.
Motherfucker, the Dez stamp of approval is strong on this one. I'm impressed. I'm extremely impressed. Wow. You just talked about Liv Morgan for like 3 minutes in a positive way.
And I didn't call her Liv Tyler this week, so there you go.
I know.
Things are changing, folks.
Also, I'm reading through your production notes or your podcast notes, and you got here that Evolution is being over-promoted. I miss SmackDown, and these run into your SmackDown notes, so I have to ask you, man, like what changed?
I mean, I think it's phenomenal that they're doing this event. But at the same time, I just feel like it's been like, 1-2 weeks now, and like every time Raw starts, they just take a whole 15 minutes, or not 15 minutes, but a good 5 to 7 minutes re-showing the announcement time and time again. And maybe you'll call me sexist, and maybe you'll slap me because, oh, fuck you, it's a women's moment, let them have their time. It's like, I am letting them have their time. I'd rather not show this package again and let two of them tear the house down and have a fantastic match. So it just seems that they're kind of patting themselves in the back over and over. Instead of being like, look at this women empowerment. It's like, look at us, WWE, what we're doing. Look at what we're doing. Look at what we're doing. And
yeah, I know what you mean.
Even to the fact where people were talking about how when Daniel Bryan came out on SmackDown this week, he was talking about WWE's announcement, and people were kind of, I guess, joking at that because apparently the roster and the employees of the WWE are told to say it's Stephanie McMahon's announcement, not the WWE's announcement. Stephanie McMahon's announcement. So it just kind of makes me further think that like it's a little bit self-gratifying.
Well, for sure, it's
Triple H
PR,
calling
man.
it Evolution as well too. Just cool. You announced it. Show it on Raw. Show it on SmackDown. Mention it again maybe the next week, but like don't have us keep reliving these packages over and over. That's just my 2 cents on it. I'm not saying it's being over. When I put that in my notes, it was more of a question mark. Is it being overhyped? What do you guys think?
Okay. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let us know at _Talkamania. Hit us up, y'all. Before we get going off of the women's division, Becky and Carmella with the return of Charlotte. I know there's going to be some salty Des involved here somewhere. He hasn't popped out this episode quite yet. I know that I've been hot on Becky for a while. You've been hot on Becky for a while. We both want this to be Becky's moment. Is Charlotte becoming the female Roman Reigns? That's my question for you.
No, I mean, not yet at this point for me. I like to see her wrestle. I like what she can do.
She's in every title match.
Well, yeah. I like what she can do in the ring. She's great on the mic. Like Charlotte's awesome. And she's going to have many moments in the future. She'll be maybe go down as the best women's wrestler or... Yeah, maybe
she's gonna beat her father's record.
She probably will, and she'll probably go down as the best. If her longevity lasts, she'll be going down as the most successful, probably best. I'm not going to say the best wrestler. Everybody has their own opinions, but I'm saying in the WWE, she very well may go down as that. And
I will never retire.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he won't. Maybe she won't. Well, no. Maybe they'll be the next tag team in the mixed tag team match challenge.
Oh man, imagine.
But yeah, folks. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm not knocking on Charlotte. I think she's awesome, and I'm super stoked that she's back. It's great. I hope she turns heel again as well, and we get more heel, queen bitch Charlotte. But the thing is, folks, the WWE spent week after week after week building up Becky. Finally, after people have been waiting for this moment to come again, she doesn't get many opportunities, and people are really starting to buy into it. And she comes out, she cuts these promos. They seem genuine. Like, I think she's just so happy to finally have this opportunity again. Then Charlotte comes back, gets thrown right into the mix. The spotlight comes off of Becky, and then she's splitting it, with Becky. Or she basically. Here's the thing. People are like, whoa, what's wrong? She can still win the championship. It's not the point, man. Why did you put the spotlight on both of them? Why did you bring Charlotte into the picture? It's fine. Charlotte, they can have them fight at Evolution. I think that'd be fantastic. Have Becky win against Carmella, and then have them fight at Evolution. Why do you have to do this? Poor Becky. Poor Becky.
What about, hear me out here, Charlotte wins at SummerSlam. Becky's bitter as fuck. Beats the shit out of her after the fight. Friendship is off. Becky versus Charlotte at Evolution. Becky wins there.
I'd like to see Becky turn heel. I just don't see it happening.
I'm telling you, man. Blue hair, ice cold.
Yeah, I think it could be. But we talked
Lynch.
about this before. The Ice Queen, right? She's a straight fire, then ice something. I don't know.
Whatever. Ice bitch, whatever you want to call her.
But yeah, I mean, and even if Becky wins at SummerSlam, it's just not going to be the same for me at this point because Charlotte was involved. There's like an asterisk, like a footnote in there now. So
yeah, not if she beats Charlotte.
Maybe if she beats Charlotte, and then she
watch them both start going at it, and Carmella rolls one of them up.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know,
salty.
man.
They'll be salty bomb. Zelina Vega, in-ring debut against Lana.
Oh, I was super excited about this match because Lana goes on to social media, does a Periscope or a live tweet or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and she calls her out. She wants to wrestle her. And Lana's definitely getting a lot better with her promos. So it was pretty exciting to see. I like Zelina, what she does in the ring with Almas. I haven't watched too much of her wrestling, but I was super excited to see this match. I realized just how tiny Zelina was. She's so small. And Lana's kind of small too, but kind of. But Zelina's tiny. And the match itself wasn't good. I didn't like it. I don't think it was too impressive. I thought it was kind of sloppy. It was kind of remind me more of those Attitude Era matches where they would just kind of roll around and kind of...
Well, Lana's not the greatest, right?
Well, Lana's number one. So.
Yeah. Lana is the best, but She's not the best in the ring.
Anyways, with time, they'll get better, I hope. They'll put in the time, they'll put in the effort, and they'll get the experience. The match itself, And a little bit of a botch at the end when Almas jumped on, and then Aiden came down and pulled him off the apron, and then Lana kind of had to pretend to fall off the turnbuckle and then hit her throat on the rope, and Almas didn't hit the rope she was on, and she kind of just jumped off and did it to herself. She did to herself. So it looked kind of silly. And then Aiden kind of got blamed, even though if you look at it, really with the way it ended, it really wasn't his fault. If anything, he was helpful. But, they're playing the storyline they're playing. And then on the backstage segment afterwards, Lana and Aiden are kind of having at it. And Rusev kind of comes around the corner. Aiden takes off, hightails it out of there. And then Lana says, you got to make a decision. So let's see what happens, folks. I'm guessing a match at SummerSlam.
It's probably a good guess. Drew Mack on Raw. Seth Rollins, your boy Drew. Seth picks up the win, but they're protecting Drew.
Well, he didn't pick up the win. It was a disqualification, but he had the curb stomp on Drew. So basically, Seth won, right? Seth won in quotations. So he had the match won, but Ziggler ran in, caused disqualification. So Seth won, but Drew's protected. So it says a lot that they're still really behind Drew McIntyre. They don't want him to take that first loss. I was for sure thinking this week, okay, well, they're having Seth going to SummerSlam. They're going to want him to pick up a big win on Drew McIntyre. It would have been a big win, and I was like, damn, I really hope not. But I was like, okay, it's going to happen, whatever. But it didn't still. So I was kind of happy because he's still protected. WWE's still high on him. And there was a post-match beatdown after. So I'm wondering what's going to happen now. It's funny because we see the two beat down on Seth Rollins. So what's going to happen come SummerSlam? Is Drew McIntyre going to be allowed to be at the ring? Some people think that, if there is a beatdown or something happens at SummerSlam, either Dean Ambrose is going to come back and save Seth Rollins or even Jason Jordan. So.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was his tag team partner. It was his tag team partner, right? So.
Who cares? Honestly, if Dean Ambrose is in any condition to come back, I bet you they ruin it. And they have him come back like a week before SummerSlam. And he just goes straight face, man. Well, I guarantee you.
I know there's heavy rumors that this IC title match is going to be changed to a 3 or 4-way match. Not sure how or who or what's going to be put into it or what's going to happen. Some say Balor might even get put in there, but it doesn't make sense because he doesn't have much going on right now. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, no thanks.
But
no thanks. I don't want to see it.
Well, geez. One thing you don't want to see, I'm going to tell you. Corbin versus Balor this week. The match was not good at all. It was just a very stale, poor match. Even for Balor. Sorry guys, if you're a Balor fan, I know
it better.
Well, Balor's good. He puts on great matches, but I mean, he's working with Corbin. He just couldn't really. They did chemistry wasn't there. They couldn't get it done. And then Corbin kind of picks up a legit win over Balor. And I think one thing for Corbin is I just want to see him go in his old attire. I just don't like this whole dressing in dress clothes every week. No, man. Maybe switch it up or something, but I don't get why. If you work in the office, you got to wear office clothes when you wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, he should change attire to fight in. I would go with that, but the lone wolf attire was tiresome and just. I'm happy it's over. I'm happy that whole character is over.
It's over. What are you talking about? As soon as he's fired, he's gonna go back to the way he was.
He'll never grow hair that long again.
No, he won't grow the hair. He'll stay bald, but he's gonna go. He's gonna go back. He's gonna wear his old attire. Is what I'm saying. Once he's you are no longer
fired from being constable.
Yeah. That's inevitable.
Oh.
Every time somebody's given a role, inevitably they get fired from that role.
I'm waiting for Kurt Angle to get fired. This is a really long run for GM, right?
It's pretty long. Yeah, I definitely see it. It'll probably happen before WrestleMania. Maybe it'll lead up to a WrestleMania match, but
I'd love for Bischoff to come back, man. Never. Think?
I mean, maybe for a surprise appearance or a Hall of Fame induction or something, but for the most part, no. The guy's an asshole too, by the way.
I like him. I
like him when on the wrestling screen, when he plays the evil Eric Bischoff. But if you follow him on social media, his opinion on things, oh my god, he's just a piece of crap.
Well, you have to be a piece of shit. Think about if you read if Vince had carte blanche to say whatever he wanted. It'd be a really cool storyline if they ever did it. If Eric Bischoff ever outlives Vince McMahon in real life, I could see Stephanie thinking it's good for business to bring Bischoff back and laugh. and be like, I won.
Guys, if you're listening right now, tweet J-Bomb and just tell him how much of a piece of trash he is for saying that. That's horrible.
Dude, that's not even horrible. They would totally do it. You know they would.
Boo.
All right. Our boy Bob is back in the headlines this time, not for anything great. His angle with Elias, I'm not enjoying it. After his win with Roman, and then he had an opportunity to go to SummerSlam on the main roster. Bob's taking a step back.
So they were building up Bobby, or Bob. I'm thinking it's Bob because they don't have two Bobbies on in the WWE.
Who's the other Bobby?
I don't know. Some other trash mongrel that we don't talk about. But Bob, they started actually building him up a little bit. I wasn't into him, I'm like, he's got a good physique, but I just can't buy the aggression.
Whoa. I got into him, but not like that.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm trying to see the positive of things. And, he started putting on some all right matches. He got a win over Roman Reigns. He did lose, the number one contender match, but whatever. He still kind of looks strong. And then what do? They put him back with Elias. Elias is who they had him with when he first came on board and had a short program with. And now he's wrestling.
Elias is shit, right? Are we in agreement here? He's become shit?
Elias?
Yeah.
Well, they're not using Elias properly either. So it's unfortunate, And the thing is, Bobby comes out there, okay, or Bobby comes out there, so fine, okay, he's going to feud with Elias again, whatever, okay, I'll get over this. And then Elias has him he asked him to sing, which was super lame, but I was like, okay, well, no, Bob's obviously going to, clock him one. Dude, he sang. And not only did he sing, he sang Rockin' Robin, okay? And then not only did he sing Rockin' Robin, he forgot the words of Rockin' Robin. And
I don't know the words of Rockin' Robin.
I don't know all the words of Rockin' Robin, but if you think you're going out there to do it, listen to it a few times, put on your headphones. It's not a very hard song to remember.
That's so Bob,
There's not
man.
too many words, and it was just brutal. And then he, fights with Elias, and then that's it. Oh, my God. So any build-up or any momentum that Bobby Lashley had was completely ruined in my eyes. It was an embarrassment for me to watch, and he must have been cringing himself when he was doing that. So, yeah, not cool. And I was finally starting to, see some kind of positive in Bobby Lashley. So
I was enjoying Lash, man. Bob's grown on me. I think it might be just because we started calling him Bob and we talk about him like we know him, classic Bob.
It's funny though because Roman Reigns makes a note to say Bob every 5 seconds when they were feuding. Bob, I don't like Bob. Bob, I don't like Bob.
I have a feeling that the two of those guys are pretty chummy backstage. Probably getting circle jerked with Vince.
Maybe bobbing for apples.
There you go. Jeff Hardy back on SmackDown. He was only gone a week. Violated once again. So
violated, it's an understatement here, folks. So first of all, they're like the return of Jeff Hardy, and I'm like, he was gone for 1 week? Return? How long was he gone? Okay, maybe he was gone for longer. I didn't remember, didn't know.
It was a week.
Yeah, so okay, I just didn't want to misquote here. But yeah, comes out, cuts a promo. He's broken. I think he botches his promo a little bit, but kind of recovers, stumbles and recovers. And then we have him saying, he wants the U.S. title, but one thing calls to him, maybe close to that much, and that is getting his hands on Randy Orton. Calls Randy Orton out. Shinsuke kind of comes out. This whole shebang happens, and looks like Orton and Nakamura are going to go face-to-face, head-to-head, toe-to-toe. Orton says, go ahead, hit him with the Kinshasa. He does, knocks him out. Then Orton picks the flesh off the bones. Basically takes out Jeff Hardy with a series of nasty DDTs. That DDT he did on the outside, man, you should go check that out if you didn't see it, folks. He puts his feet on the apron to the outside of the ring. His stalling, his vintage Orton DDT. Well, he gets it to the outside of the ring. Jeff Hardy crumples, and then they put him on top of the announce table. And then I think what happens next is the most disturbing and unsettling part for me was he starts stripping Jeff Hardy of his garments.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Really?
he goes over and gets a water bottle, and he takes the water bottle and puts it all over Jeff Hardy and all over his face. Then he takes a damp rag and starts washing Jeff Hardy's face, taking the makeup off. And during this whole time, he's going, and just like, whoa, this is kind of unsettling. He's huffing and puffing and grunting while bathing Jeff Hardy with this damp rag, and it was just strange.
Do you want a massage?
I don't know if Jeff Hardy asked for one, so that was the strange part, folks. But
you should have waterboarded him.
I mean, I guess he's washing off the enigma. He's washing off. I get it, fine, whatever. But it was just a bit. It was a bit. it's been weird and creepy. Orton pulling out his ear holes and washing his face. Like, I don't know. It's psychological warfare here, folks. So I'm kind of into it, but I'm kind of a little bit scared. So.
Like, well, that's good. Like, the feud physically has been awesome. The promo that Randy cut was awesome, but the shit behind it was just, the respect thing was just garbage. And it kind of took what I think could have been like Randy's best feud since, I think, maybe Seth Rollins all the way back from WrestleMania 31. That was an okay feud, and I think it was just because the payoff with the curb stomp RKO out of nowhere. That's what made that feud good. But
I bet you that's all you remember about that feud too.
It's literally all I remember about that feud because I didn't watch wrestling before 31. Like, I did, but like not 10 years before 31. So fuck you cocksucker. Wow. Well, we've saved the best for last. Daniel Bryan, The Miz. The feud is carrying on great. I guess we all expected it to be awesome. You mentioned that Daniel Bryan got some pretty sweet jabs in on The Miz this week. For me, it's one of them. I want to know if it is for you. Is it one of the most hyped matches for SummerSlam?
Definitely has to be one of the most hyped matches for SummerSlam. I also seen this match kind of not giving us what we want, but I see that being by design. But what I mean by that, I guess, is I don't think this would be. It's not going to be a one and done. I think we're going to see The Miz probably stealing the win or something and going on to maybe another match afterwards. Who knows? It's not going to be It's not going to leave us satisfied, I'll say. But I'll say the match is definitely being hyped up to be one of the most exciting on the card. Daniel Bryan and The Miz have been going at it for quite some time. I could see the video package for this being fantastic as well, too, leading into the pay-per-view. And, yeah, like you were saying, the promo itself this week on SmackDown was really, really good on both ends. The Miz stepped up his game, got really intense. And Daniel Bryan took some really heavy hits, basically calling him out and saying you'll never be a successful crossover into Hollywood as, The Rock. You'll never be John Cena. And when he said it, you'll never be The Rock was the biggest thing because if you remember The Miz or Mike Mizanin from The Real World, The Miz comes from his love for The Rock. That's where it comes from. He loves The Rock. Awesome. He used to talk about it as if he was in the third person as well too on The Real World, and that's where he got the name from. And I think that was a great shot to take. I think The Miz was struggling a little bit to find kind of shots on Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan really, really went for the jugular, and he delivered. I didn't like the babies crying on the monitor that he put up there, saying that Daniel Bryan was a crybaby. That was a bit stupid. But outside of that, I thought the promo was really good. It leaves me being excited going into SummerSlam. And again, like I said, I don't think you're going to get the, the closure or the satisfaction at the end of the SummerSlam match. I think it's going to be a match that might go on 1 or 2 or 3 pay-per-views. And J-Bomb keeps saying how he wants to see that mixed tag team match with Marius and The Miz versus Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan. I think we might very well see that as well, too,
I don't even need to see the match. I don't need to see the match. I don't see the match. I just want to see them involved. I'm sure they both are going to be at SummerSlam. Bree's got to be at SummerSlam.
Well, who knows?
She's got to be.
We don't know because people are coming, they're going, they're missing from SmackDown just this week. No AJ Styles, no Asuka, no Iconics, no Naomi, no Sanity, no Ember Moon. So, list goes on, folks. So, who knows who's going to be there any other night.
Sorry, no speak English.
2 hours, man. They don't have enough time. They don't have enough time. Before we wrap this up, man, is there anything else you want to add?
Hells yeah. I got some wrestling news. So, folks, it's been not just a busy week in wrestling in terms of SmackDown and Raw. A lot going on outside of the shows themselves. Big news breaking out. Matt Riddle has officially signed a 3-year deal with the WWE. He is a big name on the independent scene. He did Ultimate Fighting. He ended up leaving that to do Evolve Wrestling as well too. He won the title off of Jack Sabre Jr. and he did end up canceling a bunch of his dates, with the heavy rumor being that he signed to the WWE, and it is now official, folks. So look for Matt Riddle to be coming to your WWE screen soon, and the heavy rumor is he will be in the crowd come NXT TakeOver SummerSlam weekend. Ooh.
That guy wears no shoes in the ring, and that's pretty much all I know about Matt Riddle.
Well, they're definitely going to have change that, because I don't know if you remember, Rusev had that, and then he twisted his ankle, and then they made him put boots on. So there you have it, folks.
We'll see.
Another piece of news coming out of this week as well, too, folks. So I don't know if you guys were watching the social media and the Twitter, but some tweets from years ago, back from 2011, 2012 came out between Cedric Alexander and Ty Dillinger. So the topic of these tweets was around rape. And Dillinger wrote, "If it's not rape if they're not sleeping." And Cedric replied, "It's not rape if you yell, 'Surprise!'" So,
fuck, are you serious?
Yeah. And then
shit.
yeah, and then people were kind of complaining, going back and forth. And, he basically said, it wasn't rape, and you squealed like a little piggy and smiled, so you loved it. So it was, so yeah.
Yeah, back then rape was not as
I
a
don't know,
delicate
folks.
subject.
I mean, it's 2011, 2012. You can go back, you can read the tweets. I'm not quoting them verbatim, but that's the general gist of it. And lots of people are getting in lots of trouble for things like this these days. We're in a sensitive time, folks. But again, this is quite some time ago. They both went on social media today and were deeply, apologetic. They showed remorse. They said they've grown a lot since then. Cedric Alexander was saying how he's now he's a husband, he's a father, and he's grown a lot since then. So I think they did a good job at saying they're sorry. It was years and years ago, but let's see what happens. Maybe Cedric will drop the title to Drew Gulak at SummerSlam now because of this. Who knows? But, folks, that was something, and it was interesting. So check it out if you guys are interested. It's all over the social media, and that was what was happening this week in regards to that. I got another funny story for you, folks. So, I don't know if you've been hearing for the past few weeks on Talkamania. We've been referring to Jinder Mahal as Jinder Mahalway.
Who's Jinder Mahal?
Jinder Mahal?
I only know Jinder Mahalway.
You only know Jinder Mahalway. That's true, right?
Yeah, Jinder Mahalway and Jinder Mahalo.
And why did we call him Jinder Mahalway?
Because that motherfucker's always in the hallway.
Right. So when he was going to return, they initially had a gimmick for Jinder Mahal. And basically the gimmick, or I guess what he was going to kind of be labeled that as, was the Mahal Monitor.
No fucking way.
Oh, yeah. I shit you not, folks. He was going to be called the Mahal Monitor, and he was going to be backstage, being a tough guy and a bully backstage in the halls. So I guess I was onto something when I called him Jinder Mahalway.
Fuck, are you serious? That's crazy.
All right, folks. I got a little bit of some potentially sad, questionable news. We're not sure what it means. Maybe we shouldn't read too much into it, folks. But Matt Hardy has been posting some cryptic tweets as of late. But he's also always been known for this. But lately, he put out a tweet basically thanking the fans for sticking by his side through all the years, the trials, the tribulations, through all of his journey throughout wrestling and in life. So some people are thinking, what does this mean? Does this mean Matt Hardy's retirement is imminent? It's on the horizon? Is that it? Is that it for the Broken Family? What's going on, folks? We're not sure. Matt Hardy's definitely, he hobbles around a little bit. He looks like he's a bit beaten down and worn down. Maybe it's something that he could be in the future for Matt Hardy. Maybe he's going to slow down his career. Who knows? Maybe he fully won't retire, but maybe he'll slow down and be a part-timer. We're not sure. But it is something that I saw this week that I thought was noteworthy. So, folks, buy your Matt Hardy t-shirts and your merchandise while you can, because you don't know how much longer he'll be around for. And be deleted.
He will become obsolete.
Obsolete. Just like the relationship between Nikki Bella and John Cena.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
That one makes me... I don't know how I feel about it, bro. I watched an entire season of Total Bellas on Sunday. And I'm watching it going like, this... Like, I know everybody said it was work and this, that, and the other. And literally, it was like half of the end of one episode and the quarter of the beginning of another episode, the whole breakup and get back together. And I'm sitting there going like, that couldn't have been it. And then as the season progressed, I could see, I was like, there's more to this. So to hear that they are officially split once the season ended was not surprising to me. And I think that like what we've seen on social media from the Bellas on YouTube and on their channel, and I could see you squirming that I know so much about this. It's just the whole timeline didn't line up. So I'm sad, but this gives me hope that maybe Nikki and Nick can maybe rekindle the old love.
Oh, and by Nick, I think he's referring to Dolph Ziggler.
Fuck yeah.
Drink, bitch.
That's right. Well, that wraps up another episode of Talkamania. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Follow us at Twitter, @_Talkamania. Buy some merch, www.prowrestlingtees.com. Get yourself a t-shirt. $19.99 gets you 4 weeks of promos on the show. Be like Rafael Esparza. He was our first supporter. We gave him 4 weeks of rolling promos. Follow him on Twitter @VSI Sports. Check out his shit on Doc Sports. Check out our old podcast for the promo code. And we might have a little thing going on with him for the prediction show coming up for SummerSlam. Until then, J-Bomb's out. Say bye, Des.
Happy Rusev Day.
Suckers walk! Ugh.